Hey everyone, Tankenstein here, and welcome to Spaded. In this episode, I'll be showcasing the T-72B 1989. This is a currently rank 7 battle rating 10.3 medium/main battle tank that sits in the Russian Ground Forces tech tree and is currently an optionally unlocked vehicle that sits in the same folder as the T-72B, which makes this perfect for Spaded. Now you might be wondering to yourself, what's the big difference between the 1989 and the standard T-72B? Well, really the only difference is the fact that the 1989 has contact 5 ERA, whereas the standard T-72B has contact 1 ERA. That's it. Despite the fact that the stat card does show slightly different internal armor levels, really the 1989 and T-72B have the same amount of armor. They have the same power to weight ratio, same weapons, same ammunition, same technology, same everything, again outside of the fact that the 1989 has contact 5 ERA and the standard T-72B has contact 1 ERA. And the difference here is that contact 5 ERA provides 115 millimeters of additional kinetic energy munition protection, so things like APF-SDS and APDS, versus the contact 1 ERA, and about 50 millimeters additional versus things like Heat-FS. So it's a good amount of additional protection. However, unfortunately, the 1989 has substantially fewer ERA blocks compared to the standard T-72B, so while it is better protected in the areas that the ERA covers, it also has less ERA covering it. So overall, you might even look at this as a side grade. Some people might even consider it to be less than compared to the T-72B. Ultimately, that's what this video is meant to do. It's meant to uncover whether this vehicle is worth purchasing, grinding through, and possibly even spading. So that said, in stock to spaded videos, I like to bring these through at least 3 matches. Again, first match fully stock, second match halfway spaded, and the third match fully spaded, so you can see exactly how it is to use this vehicle, again, from stock to spaded, so you can make a decision for yourself whether you want to buy this thing in the first place, and heck, even if you want to spade it all the way through. By the way, that said, enough intro, let's get into the first match fully stock. So here we are, fully stock again with the T-72B 1989, and we have an enemy right there. We have ourselves our first kill. Now, I, again, only have Heat-FS because, of course, that's what you're stuck with unless you are top tier, which this falls just under top tier. Now, the 3BK 18M is actually not bad for Heat-FS. You have 550 millimeters of armor pen, which is pretty decent in my opinion, and, you know, at least sets this thing up to be a little bit more competitive than a lot of the Western equivalents when it's fully stock. But otherwise, again, this is pretty much the same vehicle as the standard T-72B, which is kind of a damn shame, because you would hope that there would be some sort of an upgrade here. But as I said, I mean, like, this is integrated ERA, so it's a little bit more difficult to see, but this is pretty much the extent of the ERA. On the standard T-72B, it covers pretty much everything on this vehicle, right? Like, I mean, it's dramatic how much it covers compared to this. So again, it is a bit of a shame in the fact that even though, again, you get better ERA, you get probably only about 60% as much ERA compared to the standard T-72B. Also, I've been playing a ton of the T-72B recently, so having this, it just kind of feels like, you know when you play a game and then, like, there's a corrupted save file and it, like, it makes you restart the game? That's kind of what this feels like. It kind of feels like I'm just grinding the standard T-72B all over again because of how similar these two vehicles are. Okay, we have an enemy SPAA, and he is toast. Now, it seems like this match is pretty much over already, like a third of the enemy team is already left. So let's just keep on fire. Ooh, ugly. We have a VBC, I think, right? Or is that a Vilcus? Yeah, Vilcus. So, I mean, I'm getting one-shot kills. Like I said, insofar as Heat-FS is concerned, this is some of the better Heat-FS that you can get in War Thunder, right? Like, it's got pretty damn good capabilities insofar as its overall weaponry is concerned and everything. It's just, again, this is not really much different than the T-72B. So, it's just, I don't know, it's like playing Pokemon Red versus, like, Pokemon Blue or something, you know? Like, it's different, but not much. Like, the overall, everything is pretty much the same. Though technically, again, some people may prefer the T-72B 1989 because, again, I mean, you're going, like, in the areas that you do get hit, that it's, you know, both covered by Contact 1 and 5 ERA, the Contact 5 is, you know, clearly superior. But that being said, I think we're pretty much done here. There's not really all too much enemy activity left, unfortunately. So, what I'm going to do is, let's get into another match here. Another stock match, just real quick, and see how this thing does, because I've just been getting really lucky here, to be quite honest with you. I'm not really facing too much enemy resistance. So, let's get fully stock one more time, and go from there. Whoops, my game kind of just stopped recording, unfortunately. Right when I didn't want it to, but at least you got to see. I mean, I was able to start recording again in time for me to get that 4th kill. So, you know what, actually, being that we already have 4 kills here, I mean, you got 5 kills probably. You guys were able to see, I mean, more or less how this thing does. I mean, like, if you can get a soft tank that you're fighting, which pretty much, I think, what, 3 or 4 out of my kills have been versus soft vehicles, this thing does exceedingly well. Like, the APF-SD, or the Heat FS on this thing, I mean, like, I know it's not, like, oh, 3 kilograms of explosive filler, like, it doesn't work the same as HE, of course, and the fact that this has, you know, 2.79 kilograms of explosive filler equivalent doesn't necessarily mean that, again, it's just blowing up because of the way these things work, Heat FS, but it still has a very powerful Heat FS charge. So, I mean, if nothing else, this is really not a bad vehicle to be fully stocked with. I mean, Heat FS sucks, and I'd rather take the base level of APF SDS any day of the week that this thing can provide, which I think offhand is the 3BM22, but overall, again, not too shabby. 5 kills, pretty quick in my opinion. So that said, let's get halfway spaded. We're not going to do a second fully stock match because at this point, it doesn't really matter. This thing overall, just fully stock, I'll say, is not bad. Not great, not bad. It's okay. It's got decent mobility fully stock. Not great. But again, I mean, it's just overall pretty capable vehicle. So here we are about halfway spaded with the T-72B 1989, and as one might imagine, the biggest upgrade that you can get on this is the fact that we have APF SDS, the 3BM42, which is pretty damn good. I mean, it's not like incredibly amazing, but insofar as a shell is concerned at this BR, I would say that it is probably one of the best. It's just got a very heavy shell. It does great post-pen damage, has good standard pen, like what, 457 millimeters at very most, which is definitely very nice. So overall, I would say that's actually quite an effective shell. Now, I also have the engine upgrade, which is nice. It's not something that's going to make this thing like an incredibly mobile vehicle, but still, T-72s, for the most part, fairly mobile vehicles by themselves. Having the engine upgrade is definitely noticeable as well, which is nice. Now, insofar as the armor is concerned, again, I feel like having the Contact 5 versus Contact 1, again, you're getting less Contact 5 than you did the Contact 1, which, it's really personal preference. You know, some people are going to say the standard T-72B is better, some people not. At this point, I'd probably say the 1989 is a touch better, even though you get better coverage with your Contact ERA with the... Oh, buddy. Boom. Oh, no! You get better coverage again with the T-72B. There we go. We have ourselves a kill, finally. But the 1989, I feel like it has enough coverage where it's not too much of a concern, and it's still plenty good in that regard. Now, unfortunately, ooh, those are some Okay, I thought I saw an ATGM being fired from a, whatchamacallit, a helicopter. But, unfortunately, some of the other weaknesses, I mean, pretty much, this is the same vehicle, right? It's got, if I'm not mistaken, same power-to-weight ratio, because it has the same weight. Definitely the same engine. It's got the same ammo options. Got the same reverse speed, unfortunately. Like, that is a huge weakness of these vehicles. And is something that just is not fixed at any one point throughout the T-72 line. So it is a very, very big weakness that just isn't conquered. So, in general, however, I do really like the 1989 edition thus far. I feel like it is definitely a very usable vehicle. Insofar as, you know, just building up your lineup, I feel like it really helps to build up the 10.3 BR lineup because, you know, you have, if you're including premiums with this, you have the T-80UD, you have the 2S38, you have the other T-72, the standard B variant. You have an enemy over here, you have the terms, you have the BMP-2M, just basically a whole bunch of vehicles. And you even have some similar BR vehicles as well, like the 2S25, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, thank goodness. Woo! There we go. There we go. That should be a kill. Yes, we have ourselves a kill. So, I mean, just overall, this thing is a very meaty vehicle. I actually just did a video on the T-72B, the standard T-72B. And in my opinion, I mean, like, one could argue, would be a perfect shot. He's gonna kill me, though. I think that's a Dardo. Oh, okay, it's a VCC. But look at that armor. You know, I mean, I know it's an autocannon, but still, it handled that quite well, especially considering it wasn't head-on directly on the front. But, you know, I mean, you're looking at these vehicles where it's just such a beast of a lineup, where I kind of feel like, at least at this point, having the T-72B 1989 is pretty much like buying insurance, you know? Non-mandatory insurance, at least, because, of course, this vehicle itself is very good, as is the standard T-72B, and again, I feel like it's just kind of different shades of the same color, essentially. You know, or different shades of gray, so to speak. So you're not really getting all too much different from having this compared to the standard T-72B, just because, again, you get more armor coverage, but, you know, less overall armor on the B, whereas this, you get, again, better armor. But, again, I feel like buying this is kind of like just saying, like, hey, well, if the standard T-72B fails, then you could have this in your lineup. Or if this fails as your primary vehicle, which it may as well be because it does have that better Contact 5, then you can just as easily jump into the standard T-72B because you have another vehicle with you. So, overall, very effective vehicle. There's not really all too much more I could say about it halfway spaded. I feel like the 3BM42 is like that plus the laser rangefinder pretty much makes this thing from a decent enough, well, relatively decent heat FS tank to a really, really good APF SDS tank. Again, as I said, I feel like this vehicle is going to be pretty much about as good as you can get at this BR. Even though it did see a recent BR increase, I still feel like this is going to be about as good as anyone could ever imagine for 10.3 BR. It's just such a tanky vehicle. It's got great firepower and decent enough mobility where it's just good enough, even halfway spaded. So as I said, barring any further action here, it looks like I'll even survive this. Let's get into the fully spaded match, see what we could do, and I guess kind of move on from here, but not too bad. So just so you guys have some context here for this final match, what I'm going to be counting as the fully spaded match, I actually did so well that I was able to earn a nuke. I didn't completely drop it. I was literally probably about 1/100th of a second away from dropping it, but things happen. But either way, I did well enough, and I'm pretty much fully spaded. I only had like the elevation mechanism, tracks, and maybe like the brakes left, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to count this as a fully spaded match, largely because of how damn good this match was. I felt like it was actually a pretty good indicator of what you can do on the upper end with the T-72B 1989, especially for the fact that, again, this is fully spaded. So just kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of a warning. That way, the fact that I'm talking on stream and, you know, it seems like I'm talking on stream and not about Stock to Spaded, hopefully, now that you know the context of it, it doesn't seem so incredibly weird. That said, let's kind of get into the live match. Oh my goodness, no one's even securing my flanks? I got no one even near me? I hate teams that are cowardly like this. We're not going to win. Like, having those players that kind of sit back, having a few of them, that's not a bad thing. I feel like, did I just see someone? Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. But he doesn't even know I'm here, does he? Got a kill. Having players that are kind of antsy might be a good way to put it, like where they don't really move up. That's not a bad thing. Having a few of those, you know, here and there, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Oh my goodness, 4 kills. Real quick 4 kills. But at the end of the day, having such players is, again, having too many of that type of player, that ends up being a pretty big hindrance in my opinion. Because if no one's willing to take a base, I mean, we've all seen it, where when you know, no one is willing to take a base, the entire team suffers. I'm actually really surprised we're not seeing anyone over here. Oh my goodness. Wow, we're doing pretty well here. 5 kills, top of the team, base cap. I think we have an enemy over there. It almost kind of looked like it. Maybe not. Definitely not. Okay, no biggie. I feel like we do have a few people riding the C flank. See, the only one type of player that I'm okay with killing in their base is going, like, at least on a regular basis, of course, like I said, just by happenstance, everyone's going to end up killing someone in the enemy base. Even if they're not trying to, it's going to happen. However, you know, SPAA, those are, in my opinion, totally fine to go get kills against. It makes really no sense whatsoever not to. Because so much of the time they don't even leave their base. But this is what I mean, like, if you have a team... Oh my goodness. Really? My team sucks. I'm one of, like... What? That's really bad. I mean, you look at this. 3, 4... Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Basically, like, half the team doesn't even have a kill. And with the exception of me and this other guy who left, no one has more than 1 kill. Not that I'm like this God King at this game, but that's not a good sign. Point. We have an enemy. Engine power system. Oh, okay. I thought my, oh my goodness, I'm actually getting really close here to getting a nuke. Wouldn't that be some crap? Oh, buddy. No freaking way. Am I gonna get myself a nuke? If I get a nuke, that would be absolutely bojangles. That's not even a word. I'm not even focusing. Okay, I'm just trying to focus here. Okay, we have 2,468 points. I might be able to get a nuke. Wouldn't that be something? In fact, if I die, I might just get it. Okay, I hear an enemy. Well, we have a nuke. We have a nuke! Holy cow. There we go. Oh, man. Okay, you know what? So, this vehicle is mostly spaded. Not entirely. Also, I'm going to die, so it's fine. I'm just going to get into the nuke. This vehicle is, for the most part, spaded. The T-72B. Not entirely, by any means. But it's mostly spaded. So I'm going to count this as a fully spaded match. Because who the hell would have guessed I would have gotten a nuke. So, very cool. Let's hope I can actually drop this nuke. But if I let that guy get the kill. No biggie. This is... I'd have to think about it. Either this is like my 6th or 7th nuke, or this is like my 12th nuke. So, let's see. My entire team sucked, by the way. I mean, well, better said, they just didn't do well. I'm not going to go out there and just say that they suck just because. That'd be kind of rude. Because, you know, everyone has bad matches, but... Nice. Oh, no, 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 no! Come on! Come on! Oh, man! Come on! No! It said drop the bomb! Right when I got shot! I got him, boys! Yeah, well, I've gotten enough nukes in my time, and I'll still count that as a nuke. So, anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you guys don't mind, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing. Really? Where the hell is this guy? That's why I don't like this trailer all too much. But in my opinion, this vehicle, the T-72B 1989, I think it's a very good vehicle. I still think that the T-72s at 10.3 BR are fantastic. They are a little bit long in the tooth, being that you do not have a, being that they don't have thermals. However, still everything else for 10.3 BR, like, it's an exceedingly good vehicle. So, with that said, thanks so much for watching. If you don't mind, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'll go ahead and just kind of recommend to everybody, if you guys like your T-72B, then you may as well get the 1989, being that it only costs half RP compared to a standard vehicle. So, I like it in that case. Trying to fill out a lineup, it is a perfect vehicle to do so. But if you don't really care and you just want to grind through the tech tree, there's always time to get it later, because essentially it's a very similar experience to the standard T-72B, except, again, with slightly better Contact 5 ERA, but less of it. So, again, thanks for watching. I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone. Can't believe I got that on stream.